Hey guys, what's up? So, most of you that have been watching my channel have seen my desktop and all that water cooler and all that neat stuff. So, those of you that know me from the forum know that I've got this wicked EVGA GTX 1080 Ti SC2 gaming that I've done the shunt mod or the power mod. Basically, this bad boy runs full blast. 1.2 volts, overclocks all day long at 2240 on core and 12,100 megahertz on memory. Just a solid GPU, no throttling, no performance cap reasons, and GPU-Z. Won a lot of, set a lot of records with this GPU, but it's 2 years old, still great GPU. We've all been watching the nonsense with the RTX cards and all the hype about that. But you know, when you're not like me, and I know a lot of you are, you just can't help but wonder. So here's what we're gonna do. I ran some benches with this thing stock. I put the stock VBIOS back on it again, and I ran, you know, Firestrike, Time Spy, 3D Mark 11, Vantage, did a few games with this thing running stock, with the stock firmware, but with the water cooler, the water chiller, with this GPU running about 20 degrees Celsius at max. CPU, the 7960X had it running at 5.1. So what I did was set this card up to show us an example of what a 1080 Ti with perfect firmware, with ideal cooling, 20 degrees Celsius, what this would perform like gaming and benching stock. All right, follow me? So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna put this bad boy in there. This is 2080 Ti. It's the XC2 Ultra Gaming. So this has the air cooler on it right now. So what I'm going to do is put it in there. This would be the less than ideal. This running ideal, the best example we could expect to see of a 2080 Ti stock with the cooling and firmware. And then we're going to see what this looks like air cooled under the worst of circumstances you could expect a GPU to do, running stock. So we have apples to apples comparison. Going to run those same benchmarks with this card, and then I'm going to tear it down, and then I'm going to put another hydrocopper on this bad boy, cool it down to 20 degrees Celsius, just like we did with this one, and run it stock. Again, at those benchmarks, that'll give us a baseline to see how the ideal 1080 Ti with perfect cooling compares against 2080 Ti without perfect cooling, and then put that perfect cooling on the 2080 Ti and see how it stacks up against this. So you with me? All right, hang tight and we're gonna get started.
Changed me, but I've always been the same. My label tried to
Okay, before we install this, I already opened the box, so if you wanted to see me open the box, I'm sorry. I know the kids like that, so. But I already opened it up, took it out, didn't want to waste your time with me farting around with the box. So here's this XC2 Ultra Gaming. Most don't see many of these. They're kind of hard to find. I actually picked this up on eBay from EVGA's web store. They haven't been available on their website. I've never seen one on their website. I've signed up for notifications, got a couple of them for this and for the Win 3, and within 5 minutes they're gone. So they've got more of these, I believe, right now. So if you go to the eBay EVGA official, it's EVGA_official. You might get lucky and find one. But look at the size of this, the girth of this cooler. It's pretty crazy, huh? So it is a 3-slot card, nice and thick. This has the ICX2 cooling setup on it, which is, I guess, as far as air cooling goes, is really great. The ICX also has a bunch of different thermal sensors, 2 thermal sensors on the GPU core or die, and then all of the VRMs in memory have discrete coolers or sensors. So you can check the temps. They show up in Hardware Info 64. They'll also show up in the MSI Afterburner and the new Precision X1 that's designed for the touring cards. So it's a nice looking card. For those of you that are into that, I'll peel the plastic off of it for you so you can see that. So, and I'll get you a close up here in a bit. But it's a nice looking card. So it's RGB too, but this cooler is going to go. So here's a nice close up of it. It's got the lighting up here, big thick fins on that radiator, or the heat sink. So sharp looking card. Got this metal guard on the back here. 2 4-pin input power ports. The back plate on this one's ventilated a lot more than they have been in the past. So yeah, looks pretty sweet. It has, looks like we've got 3 display ports, 1 HDMI, and then the USB Type-C on the end of there. It also comes with this dongle. Plugs into the USB Type-C and converts it to a DVI-D. That comes in a nice little black box, and you get an EVGA case badge if you're into that kind of thing. So, all right, so let's go put this in the computer and get started. So here we are in the laboratory. Got the water chiller running down there, getting everything nice and cold. So I did have the Hydro Cropper 1080 Ti here, and so I just bypassed it. So I've got the water chiller, the 2 360 millimeter radiators, 3 pumps. I got this smaller pump here, with the big D5 pump there, and then there's another SwiftTech pump down there. So I can actually turn the water chiller on and let it pump cold water through the system without the computer running. So I haven't turned it on yet. Let's just go ahead and fire it up, see what it looks like. Oh, might help if I turn the toggle switch on in the back. There we go. Got the EVGA Dark X299 Dark motherboard here. I'm sure we're going to have to reinstall the drivers, so it looks like it's all turned blue right now. So we'll play around a little bit with Precision X1. Let's turn off the overhead light here. Get a little better look at some things. There we go. Seems like it's taking a little bit of time to boot up. Monitor's not powering on. I don't think I had that plugged in all the way. There we go. I think the DisplayPort cable wasn't seated fully. So we've got the card installed without a hitch. Let's take a look in the BIOS here. Make sure everything looks as it should. Let's see, PCIe configuration. Alright, looks like it's sees it, X16 and everything, so I'm pretty much EVGA on everything now. Did have that awesome Rampage 6 Apex, but now I've got the EVGA X299 Dart motherboard, EVGA 1600 Supernova P2 power supply, and now the of course I had an EVGA video card before. So alright, enough of that stupid chatter. Let's go ahead and look at I'll go ahead and start benching this and share the results with you.
Target on my back, lone survivor last. They got me in the sights. No surrender, no trigger, fingers go, living the dangerous life. Hey, 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 every day when I wake, I'm trying to get up, they're knocking me down. Hey, 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 when I need to be saved, you're making me strong, you're making me stand. Shot like a rocket up into the sky, nothing can stop me tonight. You make me feel invincible, earthquake powerful, just like a tidal wave. You make me brave, you're my titanium fight song, raising up like the roar of victory in a stadium. Who can touch me, 'cause I'm who can stop me tonight? You make me feel invincible. I feel it, invincible. I feel it, invincible. Here we go again, I will not give in. I've got a reason to fight. Every day we choose, we might win or lose. This is the dangerous life. Hey, 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 every day when I wake, they say that I'm gone, they say that they've won. Hey, 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 when I need to be saved, they're counting me out, but this is my round. Shot like a rocket up into the sky, nothing can stop me tonight. You make me feel invincible, earthquake powerful, just like a tidal wave. You make me brave, you're my titanium fight song, raising up like the roar of victory in a stadium. Who can touch me, 'cause I'm who can stop me tonight? You make me feel invincible. I feel it, invincible. I feel it, invincible.
While I had this GPU taken apart, I thought I'd take some photos for you guys to get a closer look. So as you can see, the EVGA 2080 Ti XC2 Ultra Gaming has a nice heat sink on it. It's well made. It's got a lot of copper and a lot of fins on it. It also has a very nice well made support bracket or reinforcement to give some structural integrity to the card. Also helps with some cooling on the memory and the power delivery system and VRMs and that kind of thing. Overall, really well made card. I'm happy with it. Here's a look at the bare PCB, and I can already see a lot of differences between the 2080 Ti and the 1080 Ti as far as the PCB layout. Looks like it's got just a lot of differences. I won't go into them here, but I'm sure there's plenty of videos on YouTube for you to check that out. So, also looks like the XC2 carries a Turing A chip on it, which is nice. There's been a lot of talk on the forums and on YouTube videos about the A chips being the ones to have. The ones that don't have the A appear to suck at overclocking. So, and here's a nice shot of the hydrocopper block installed. This was really simple to install. You just follow through the instructions. It's just a matter of removing some screws and putting in some thermoplast and that kind of thing. So it took me about a half an hour, so it's an easy deal. So hey, let's get back to benching. Alright, well maybe I'll be able to get at least one segment of this video that's not blurry. So while that video stuff is rendering over there for this one, just a nicer look here at the system. So I've got the 2080 Ti with the hydrocopper block installed. As you can see, I do not have any fans running right now. I just have water circulating through the system, and I'm using the chiller down there. You hear it just kicked on. So it's actually detrimental to run the fans while the water chiller is going, because it makes the water warmer, tries to warm it to ambient temperatures, and instead of allowing it to cool down to sub-ambient. So looks like that video segment is finished going there. So anyhow, there's a nice look at it, and I'll continue on with the video editing. Hey guys, as we wrap up this video, I just want to say thanks for watching, and again I apologize for the some of the really crappy, grainy, blurry video. I didn't realize I had something on my camera lens until the end, and it was too late to go back and record all that over again. So let's take a quick look at some overclocking. I have not had any real time to do that. I've spent it all testing and making this video with the cards at stock, but I had a few runs we could take a look at. The chilled water makes a huge difference on the 2080 Ti as well as the 1080 Ti. They both have the nonsensical room temperature throttling that starts at 50 degrees Celsius, and that pretty much eliminates that. Still needs a new VBIOS that has less problem with power limit throttling and voltage reliability voltage throttling. That's really stupid. I wish NVIDIA would knock that off, but we'll get that ironed out. So let's take a look here. Firestrike. Got a score of 34,545. This is my first crack at the overclocking too. I haven't had time to play with it. So right out of the chute, 7th place out of 24 on 2080 Ti, 14th place globally out of 2,799 benchmark runs. So not too shabby. That was with the core at 2190 and the memory like at right at 16 gigahertz. Right, something like that. Let's see, Firestrike Ultra. 7th place out of 25 on 2080 Ti, 10th out of 895 on single GPU with that 9964 score. This one I did have 2160 on core and 16 gigahertz on memory to get that. See what else we've got here. Time Spy 16304, 30th place out of 83 for 2080 Ti, 34th out of 1649 for single GPU. Oops. And here you can see what I'm talking about, the performance cap reasons. With the hard mod and the Asus Strix XOC VBIOS that I had on the 1080 Ti, there was none of this nonsense, so we need to do that for this 2080 Ti as well. 2190 on core and yeah, right around 16 gigahertz on memory, so pretty sweet. I think I got one more, Skydiver. That one came in 2nd out of 8 with 2080 Ti, 6th out of 1158 for single GPU. Oops, sorry about that. 2175 on core. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It took a long time to make it, and you guys have a good Christmas. God bless.